Less cooking, more dishes. Is that how you feel your life is all the time? Actually, this is about less dishes, more cooking, and I'm going to show you how. And so I think you're going to want to subscribe. So I'm a cooking teacher. I've had hundreds of people in my kitchen cooking, and several people at a time. So what I would notice is that everything they touched to measure, to do, it was always grab a new utensil. Grab a new measuring spoon. But let's stop and think about that. Now, I am not talking about mixing up things like raw chicken, any kind of meats. I have a special cutting board just for those. And it's reddish, so it reminds me that it's a meat color. And I'm not talking about things like eggs that set up. So that's not where I'm coming at. These need to be kept separate, washed quickly, and not mixed up with other items. But for other things that you're doing, for example, let's start with that you're going to make some pasta. So maybe ahead of time, because this is how we really cook in real life, and that's why the channel's called Get Real. We'll cook a little here, a little there, eventually put it all together. So maybe you cook the pasta ahead in this Dutch oven. And then you drain it in the colander and you leave it over there in the sink or whatever. Fine. Now, after you pour out the pasta, this is not dirty. It just had pasta cooking in it. So you can put this right back on the stove and make your sauce in it without washing it, and now you only have one pan used. Then when it comes to things like measuring, so I just think about things that are dry, that are not going to affect anything else. I just measured this jasmine rice in this measuring cup. It's not dirty. I can use it for other things. Now, how do I do this? It's really a mindset, and that's all I want you to think about. It's never perfect. Yeah, there's always these times when you threw it in the sink and now you can't reuse it. However, I'll keep like a paper towel or something on the sink, right by the sink, and then as I'm using things, I'll set them down. Now, why would I set down a measuring spoon? Well, if I'm measuring some spices, then I can use it for a bunch of different spices. It's not dirty. I can stick the teaspoon back in there. However, you do want to use caution, because if you're using something that has a deep striking color like paprika, you don't want to dip your measuring spoon in there and then use it to dip it maybe in some baking soda. So now, let's say you're going to make a couple of recipes over, say, an hour and a half. And these things are not spoiled, and so you can just reuse things as they come along. So same thing with like stirring your pastas with these containers. These are not contaminated when they're used together. I am hugely always putting my garlic press immediately in the dishwasher, so I can't reuse it. So I try to remember not to do that. The reason this spoon is actually here is from dinner. I used it I measure the red wine vinegar in it. It's not dirty after that. Then I went ahead and poured the olive oil in there to measure it. Lastly, what I want to say is when you're baking, the same thing applies. All of these dried ingredients are easy to reuse the implements and use less containers. So this is Get Real in the Kitchen with Deanna Olson. Please subscribe. One take, live from Denver. See you next time.